discovering a new incredible artist can really change someone's life, and I'd like to do that to some people out there who may have never heard of this guy, Octavio Ocampo. He is absolutely unbelievable. A Mexican artist that has transcended art. He has done so many different things in his entire life, from dance to theater to just absolutely everything, but he paints these wonderful, amazing masterpieces that are like called metamorphic art, which combine nature and reality and fantasy and everything in a way that's just unbelievable and perfectly unique to him. He's just really a master of it, and it's based on his love of seeing things like this in nature and in clouds. And he said that his mother used to ask him what he saw in the clouds, and that kind of started, and that same thing happened for me. And this is actually the artwork. When I first discovered him, I was in Panama a long time ago, like when I was probably 14 or 15, and at a flea market, and it was a crazy experience on a cruise with family. And I was at a flea market and I separated, and I came across this in a bin with a few other of his prints that were like this, and I was like, oh my god. And I only had enough money to buy one, and so I ended up getting this one, and it's just stayed with me forever, and I absolutely cherish it. It's so good. He's awesome. And it's just inspired me to just continue checking him out over the years and just to get more into him. And so I recently bought this book that I showed you at the very beginning. So I wanted to review it because I want to start reviewing artists out there, and whether to tune people onto it, to inspire people, and just to help others out, maybe, help people get to Ocampo. I know he's getting older now. He's had a long and amazing life. And he's represented by Visions Fine Art, I believe, in New Mexico. No, I would absolutely love to interview. I've reached out, but it's going to be impossible, I'm sure. But getting quotes from this guy is incredible. So here's one from the book that says, "I don't paint figuratively, but multi-figuratively, polymorphically. I like to invite the observer to interact playfully with my paintings. First, I capture his attention and try to communicate a sense of beauty or of something terrible. Then, on the second or third impression, the observer should be feeling something quite different. In the tentative transition from one sensation to another, there is a magical moment in which I communicate on a different level via the subconscious and the spirit." Now that is absolutely awesome, because I firmly believe that there are several different ways that art interacts with the spirit or the subconscious, that it does things that are just purely magical, that it's almost like it could be the key to helping others see some of this magic, and then maybe leading towards innovations that could utilize some of these kind of things, like the perfection. There's something with perfection, like all those old architectures and buildings, and just nature in itself is so perfect that it's almost like it's an illusion. It's just immaculate. Everything is. And he just capitalizes on that by being a master painter, just getting all the light perfect. I'm sorry, the photos I took of this book had a light source coming from the left, so you can see it a little bit brighter. The artwork is just amazing in this book. I recommend it. And so people like Jimmy Carter actually commissioned him, but look at the detail of this drawing in New York Harbor, I believe, it's just absolutely incredible. So many buildings, so many different details, and they all form they form him. They form the bodies of these people and the faces of these people, and it interacts with different things that have occurred in his life or the person's life or the figure, and you can't hold it against him. But he even commissioned by Cher, which I think she did it for her album cover, and she stinks now, but this is 1989 when she was okay. And so but he does a lot of different topics, spiritual topics. I guess he would consider being a holy man at one point when he was young, and had a lot of upbringing in art schools, and just seemed to have a pretty great past where his surroundings and his brothers and his family really encouraged him to be creative, which is essential. If anyone out there has a relative or a son or daughter that is showing signs of being a great artist, make sure you foster that ability and craft within them. Make them love it. There's nothing better than it. And we all deserve it. We all have this within us, but some people just, like, not everybody can paint like this. Some people could go for years and never see the world this way. That's the thing with artists that's amazing, is if you see the world in a different way and you have the ability to visualize it, and you got to become an artist, because you can share a glimpse into something that nobody else has ever seen. And especially with these next ones, I love how he takes ancient cultures and brings them back in amazing ways, and like just unbelievable. Krishna You can see her massive face just being formed by all these things, the patterns of everything. So amazing, almost like a tessellation. Everything forms so well and is so smooth. And Shiva, and this is a beautiful representation of Shiva, unlike how she's been kind of hijacked of late by a lot of cerns and other things out there. But then these are also one of my favorites. The Buddha, the resting Buddha, like a dying Buddha below the tree, just glimpsed in such a way that incorporates a distant landscape, a close landscape, the animals, the moment that it happened. Like he did 2 of these representations and drawings, which is amazing. He inspired me to definitely do one as well. I think I have to. I owe it to the Buddha and to Ocampo. I want to honor him as well. And this is a mural that is just phenomenal. Like this should be in children's books. It should be in schools. Like that's the thing that needs to change, is the schools have been corrupted. But when schools used to show beauty in different images like this, like I remember so many books when I was younger where you'd have to find things within the image. You'd have to look deeper into the art. It wasn't just simple computer art with all these shapes and gradients and vectors. It was like actually elaborate art, hand-drawn like this, beautiful, thought-provoking, inspiring, colorful. You could find different things in it. It almost helped you go into nature and look for things and try to find amazing little bugs or frogs or anything. It inspires you, and that's what education needs to become more about, and this type of art just needs to spread. So I'm honored to be able to bring you guys Octavio Ocampo. I've always, in my classes that I've taught, I've always taught people about Octavio and introduced them to him. People like Dali as well, who I also love. But it's important that more and more people know about these artists, because it just helps everyone. You can feel better. I'm sure everybody out there is seeing even this collection that I've shared from this book and is finding something that they think is absolutely unbelievable, and they've probably went back to it or paused on it or screenshotted it. I hope you all do, and definitely check him out. Buy his book. These are incredible images. Look at, you see them one way, then he flips them upside down and you can see them a totally different way. It's amazing how different these ones are, yet how smooth each orientation looks. Like, just totally different. Amazing. And I've seen other artists do that before, but he does it in a really nice way, really nice, smooth, painted, very colorful way. And I also love how he does this. He makes just like an angel's face out of hundreds of babies' faces, child's angel cherub faces, and the angels below. The scene is always so vast. Every artwork is purely unique, very different, even when he has like similar flower-like themes, and you never know how many people you're going to find. Like, there's just people everywhere. He'll put them in any kind of thing. And I always like to slide faces into things as well, but he does it in a way that's just, they're beautiful. They're beautiful faces, and it's really incredible. And he captures the essence of just like of everything that he tries and attempts to do. Like he said, something beautiful or something terrible, and he nails that. He's just got it. And I like how he also plays with different older themed artworks or different kind of historical relics and things that are relevant and important, and kind of tweaks them a little bit, like almost like Giuseppe Arcamboldo, and made the faces out of fruit. He made the Mona Lisa out of cats and bunnies and interesting things, and he makes everyone out of that. All the Don Quixotes he has, and the ones that I showed in this are about 50 of 100 plus in this book, and it's totally worth it. I didn't want to include everyone, and I've seen many as well that aren't even in this book. So he's just done so much. And then there's like 6 years, 8 years beyond the creation of this book that he's been still going. So I can't wait to see what he does in his crowning years here, where just a true master really gets to reflect on their life and has the time to really just sit and do it in a perfect situation. You don't have to make any more money really. They're set, they're comfortable. They just get to do it, and that must be amazing. Get the final ideas out, not final, but get the last ideas out until the next realm. And this is just perfect too. Such like an angel with the demon, everything just interacts. It's totally awesome. His content, his subject matter, his vibrance, his colors, his everything about him, his choice of everything. It's just so good. I couldn't speak more highly of an artist. I'm so glad he's still alive today. Octavio, if you end up seeing this, contact me, my friend. I would love to ask you some questions. I intend to be an artist for life, my wife as well. And there's a lot that we can learn from people who have been there and done it. And You know, there's insight to be gained from people that are capable of creating such magic and being able to come up with such fresh and perfectly unique visions. That is astounding. You know, these people like Octavio are just truly rare. They are a blessing to all of us, and thank you, Octavio. You are awesome. And this, oh my God, Mary, so amazing, made out of roses and just so many different things. So beautiful, and someone's holding it up. It's on a sheet, like it's like, oh, this guy just like the more you look, the more it unravels, and it really is like that little in between time from when you see one thing to the next is really a fascinating thing. And I see what he talks about, how he can kind of communicate something. It's like getting blasted with a wave of something that you don't even know what it is. You can't really describe it, but you're just like, oh yes. It is truly sacred art, and I absolutely love it. I hope you all do too. This is an example of one of his that is not found in the book. You know, you can buy different prints as well, G clays. I might actually have to get one, and you can get them at this site that I'll show you very next. But you know, in the experience that he kind of goes through, that vision of seeing things in nature, it's called pareidolia, and I don't know about you all, but I am big into it. I've always been into it my entire life. I every day like see something in everywhere. I saw a tissue the other day that was like looked like a dragon perfectly. I took a picture of it. I will show it at some point. But they are amazing. Be on the lookout for it, because it does mean something, whether it's a glimpse back at our ancient like defenses that we're trying to find like faces in nature to try and stay on our defenses, or something totally different, something divine, something synchronistic, something magical, like almost like a sign that others are looking down at us. Or others are coming to us and appearing in different. I've got a lot of different theories on what it could be, but I never would pass it off as being something just random or linked to schizophrenia. No way. It is a beautiful kind of miracle, and it's kind of like tampering with and manipulating the illusion and the fractals that are all around us, whatever this universe of reality is. But artists like this help us kind of glimpse it, put it together, and look at the moon in the background, the figure in the moon. Ah, so beautiful. Thank you, Octavio. Thank you all. Bless you all.